The small peaceful village of Odogu lay quietly between the thick green grass and the winding brown river that glimmers like polished brows beneath the West African sun. Palm trees leaned lazily in the warm breeze, their leaves whispering stories that had traveled through thousands of generations. It was a village where mornings began with the crawling of rooters and the pounding of yam in wooden mortars. Women carry clay pots on their heads, while laughter drifts from compound to compound like soft music. People in Odogu village value kindness, respect, and community. No one was ever truly alone in the village. If a child cried, 10 mothers would rush to comfort the child. If a farmer's crop failed, neighbors would bring baskets of cassava and maize to comfort the person. But among all the people in Odogu, one person stood apart from the rest. Her name was Olachi. At just 20 years old, Olachi was considered the most beautiful girl anyone had ever seen in Odogu village. She was tall and slender, with glowing fair skin. Under sunlight, her most striking feature was her long deep wave hair, which flowed her back. Whenever she walked through the dusty village paths, people would pause to stare. Her beauty was impossible to ignore. But beauty, as the elders often say, was like a sharp knife. It could either prepare a good meal or cause deep wounds. And in Olachi's case, it caused wounds. Not physical wounds, wounds to the heart. Olachi carried herself like royalty. Every morning she would leave her family compound dressed in the colorful wrappers and fine beads around her neck. As she walked through the narrow red earth path of Odogu village, she would hold a small hand fan made from palm leaves and wave it slowly before her face. Not because of heat, but because she liked to appear important. The villager watched her with mixed emotion. Some admire her beauty, others sigh with disappointment. Because Olachi was not known for kindness, she was known for something else, pride. If an old woman passed by carrying firewood, Olachi would wrinkle her nose. Why do you smell like smoke? She would say loudly. If a farmer walked by covering in sweat from the field, she would laugh. You look like a dirty goat. Have you never seen water before? Her cruel wells spread through the village like thorns and barefoot. Children avoided her. Women shook their heads when she passed. Men who once admired her slowly to feel uneasy around her. But Olachi didn't care. To her, the people of Odogu were beneath her. Even her parents struggled to control her. Her mother Nkechi would often say gently, "My daughter, beauty without kindness is like a flower without fragrance." But Olachi would roll her eyes. "And kindness without beauty is useless," Olachi would reply. Her father Ugo, a quiet and hardworking farmer, once warned her one evening as the sun set behind the trees. "Pride invites trouble, Olachi. One day you will meet someone who will teach you humility," her father said, but she laughed loudly. There is no one like that in this village, she believed it, every word of it, until the day Chidiogo arrived. One cool morning, when the wind carried a faint chill through the air, a stranger walked into Odogo's village. She came from the neighboring village of Ugu. Her name was Chidiogo. Chidiogo was the complete opposite of Olachi. She was short, with smooth dark skin as rich as polished ebony. Her hair was tied neatly in simple braids, and she wore plain clothes that showed she was not wealthy. But her smile had a warmth that could melt even the hardest heart. When she greeted the villagers, she bowed slightly and said politely, "Good morning. May your day be blessed." Within days, everyone began to notice something unusual about Chidiogo. She helped everyone. If an elderly woman struggling to carry water from the stream, Chidiogo would quickly take the heavy clay pots. If a farmer needed help gathering firewood, she would volunteer without hesitation. If children cried, she would tell story until they laugh again. People were drawn to her kindness like bees to honey. Soon the entire village began to speak of her name with admiration. "Chidiogo helped me fetch water. Chidiogo helped me do this. Chidiogo helped me do that," everywhere in Odogu village. Chidogo helped me fetch water. She repaired my broken fence. She carried firewood for my grandmother. Her kindness spread through Odogu village like warm sunlight. And slowly, something else began to happen. The young men of the village started paying attention to her. Not because she was the most beautiful, but because she was the most kind. But then, she began to see something that made her stomach twist with anger. The same young men who once admired her beauty were now gathering around Chidiogo. They laughed with her. They listened to her stories. They walked beside her when she went to fetch water. It burns Olachi's pride like fire on dry grass. How can they prevail her over me? She thought bitterly. Why would they leave this beautiful body for that short girl called Chidiogo? One afternoon, she saw Chidiogo helping an old woman carrying firewood. The villagers clapped and praised her. Olachi stood in the distance watching, her jaw tightened. Her fingers clenched. Jealousy is a silent poison, and it had begun to spread through Olachi's heart. From that moment, she began to hate Chidiogo. Every smile from Chidiogo felt like an insult. Every compliment Chidiogo received felt like a slap. And jealousy, when it grows too strong, pushes people towards dangerous choices. One evening, as the sun disappeared behind the forest and the narrow bush road grew quiet and empty, Olachi made a decision. She would confront Chidiogo alone on the lonely path between Odogu and Ugu village. And that decision would change her life forever. Everything slowly wrapped itself around the village of Odogu like a quiet blanket. The golden sun sank behind the tall Iroko trees, leaving long shadows stretching across the red earth paths. Smoke coiled gently from cooking fires as women prepared the evening meal. Children's laughter faded as they were called into their homes. But outside the peaceful village, the narrow bushy road leading towards the neighboring village of Ugu has already begun to grow silent. Tall grasses swayed slowly into the evening wind. Crickets had begun their soft chorus, and everywhere deep into the forest an owl hooted. It was on that lonely path that Olachi stood waiting, her hands folded across her chest, her long deep wave hair moving gently with the wind as she stared down the path. Her heart was filled with anger. Days of jealousy had been building inside her like a storm cloud ready to burst. Today, today, it will not pass today. Today, she muttered to herself, I will show that girl who truly belongs in Odogu. Her eyes scanned the narrow path again. Then finally, she saw someone approaching. It was Chidiogo. Chidiogo walked slowly along the road carrying a small clay pot filled with water from the stream. As usual, her expression was calm and peaceful. She hummed softly to herself, unaware of the danger waiting ahead. When she got closer, she noticed Olachi standing in the middle of the road. She stopped. Her gentle smile appeared immediately. Good evening, Olachi, she said kindly. But Olachi did not return the greetings. Instead, she stepped forward with cold eyes. So you are the one stealing the attention from me in this village, she said sharply. Chidiogo looked confused. Stealing attention? I don't understand. Olachi laughed harshly. Don't pretend. All the men in Odogu now run after you like hungry dogs. Chidiogo shook her head slowly. I did not come to compete with anyone. I only help where help is needed. But Olachi was already too angry to listen. You think helping old people makes you better than me? Chidiogo sighed gently. I think kindness is always better than pride. Those words struck Olachi like a slap. Her face twisted with rage. You dare lecture me, you dirty thing, she shouted. And before Chidiogo could react, Olachi attacked her. The clay pot fell to the ground and shattered into pieces. Water spilled across the dusty road. Olachi grabbed Chidiogo by the shoulder and pushed her violently. Fight me, Olachi screamed. Stand up and fight me. Chidiogo stomped backward, but she did not fight back. Please stop, she said calmly. But Olachi's jealousy had already consumed her. She slapped Chidiogo across the face. The sound echoed through the silent forest. For a moment, everything became still. The wind stopped. The crickets fell silent. Then something strange began to happen. Chidogo slowly lifted her head. Her calm expression was gone. Instead, her eyes had changed. They had become cold and glowing. A deep ancient voice filled the air. "You should not have done that, Olachi." Olachi stepped back slightly, confused. "What are you talking about?" Suddenly, Chidogo's body began to tremble. Her arms twisted. Her legs bent unnaturally. Olachi watched in horror as the girl's form began to stretch and grow. Her skin darkened and shimmered. Then scales began to appear. Long, shining, green-black scales. Olachi's heart began pounding wildly. No, no, this cannot be happening. Chidogo's body grew longer and longer and longer. Within seconds, the small friendly girl from Ogo was gone. Standing before Olachi was a massive python. His body coiled thickly across the path. His head rose slowly into the air. His yellow eyes stared directly at Olachi. Olachi tried to scream, but fear has locked her body in place. The giant python spoke again with the same deep voice. "I came to Odogu in peace. I harm no one." His tongue flicked slowly through the air. "But pride blinded you." Olachi collapsed to her knees, trembling. "Please, please don't kill me." The python lowered its enormous head until its eyes were level with hers. "I will not kill you." Its voice was calm. "But you must learn." The python circled Olachi slowly. Its massive body moved silently through the grass. Olachi's heart pounded so loudly she could hear it in her ears. "You have used your mouth to wound many people," the python said. Olachi began to cry. I am sorry, I won't do it again." But the python continued speaking. "You mocked the poor. You insulted the elderly. You treated people like dirty." Olachi sobbed uncontrollably. The python raised his head higher. "So your punishment will come from your mouth." Suddenly, the python's eyes flashed. A strange invisible force rushed through the air. Olachi felt something tighten inside her throat. She tried to speak, but no words came out. She tried again, still nothing. Her voice was gone. The python spoke one final time. "You will never insult anyone again." Then slowly, the giant creature began shrinking. Its long body twisted and folded until it once again became the small girl named Chidiogo. Chidiogo looked down at Olachi sadly. "I hope you would learn kindness without this." Then she turned and walked quietly into the forest, leaving Olachi alone and terrified. Olachi ran back to Odogu village that night. Her feet barely touched the ground as she raced through the darkness. When she reached her family compound, her mother rushed towards her. "Olachi, what happened?" Olachi tried to speak, but no sound came out. Her mother's face filled with confusion. "Why are you not talking?" Olachi desperately tried to explain with gesture. She pointed towards the forest. She twisted her arms like a snake. She opened her mouth wide, trying to imitate a python. But the villagers only stared at her. Her father frowned. Had she lost her mind? Olachi shook her head violently. She grabbed a stick and began drawing in the dirt. A gear, then a snake, but the villagers only laughed. Maybe the spirit of the forest frightened her. She probably imagined it. No one believed. No matter how hard she tried, from that day onward, Olachi never spoke again. The once arrogant girl who insulted everyone had become the quietest person in the village. And slowly, something unexpected began to happen. Without her clear voice, the people of Odogu began to see a different Olachi, a humble Olachi, a silent Olachi who now helped the same villagers she once insulted. And every time she saw Chijogo walking peacefully through the village, she bowed her head with deep respect because she knew the truth. Even if no one else did. The elders of Odogu later told the stories for generations. Pride can make a person blind, but humility opened the eyes of the heart. And the story of Olachi became a warning whisper to every child in the village. Beauty may attract attention, but kindness earns respect. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more interesting stories. Bye bye.